Hello everyone. Today I'm going to speak about K-curve methodology for inventory management. In this video, we can find out the reason why we need an inventory management and why K-curve is used to find the optimum level in an inventory management. So first, to answer the first question, why we need to have an inventory management. We need to have an inventory management because it helps us to and keep track of our inventory and offers a centralized viewing of stocks, meaning that we can see how much we have in our stock and where it is placed. The second reason is to control cost by making stock reports, meaning that keeping reports about our stock helps us to understand and which stock is doing well versus the one which are just taking up shelf life. The lack of right inventory at the right time will lead to a problem, and the excess stock can be controlled using inventory management. Next reason is delivery, because it improves delivery and meets customers' expectations. The third reason is to improve delivery and meet customer expectation. By having an inventory management at place, late delivery is due to stock outs can be reduced, or in better cases can be actually nullified, because it will lead to a bad reputation in the market. Next important reason is manages planning and forecasting by analyzing data trends. Having a proper inventory management, we can improve our data forecasting by analyzing data trends and correlating that with what are the stocks which are performing well in our inventory. Also, by planning and forecasting, you can deliver on customer expectations better. The fifth reason to have an inventory management is it reduces the time by keeping records in place. One can reduce the time taken to keep track of all the products one has on hand. Additionally, you can save time taken and in inventory recounts if your records are in place. So these are the reasons why we need an inventory management, and inventory management has become very vital for survival of an organization in this current business world. Next, moving on, what are the benefits of maintaining an optimum inventory? The inventory holding cost is optimized, meaning that we have the exact amount of stock at the right time, at the right place, not more or not less. By doing so, we can reduce the holding cost in the inventory and use that cash in a better ways. The second reason is time saving. By having an optimum inventory, you can save time, because if the warehouse has been filled with product X, it will affect the picking, packing and shipping processes. So having just the right amount of enough stock in the warehouse will help is to speed up the warehouse operations. Next, employee efficiencies can be monitored and optimized. By having enough staff, we can employ only the right amount of people and can monitor those people's performances, and any trainings can be given and to improve their performance. And finally, we can have a better usage of our working capital. If you have the optimum inventory, the working capital can be used for various other aspects as well. For example, if you have a overstock, or the cost of the stock in your warehouse is going to be a complete waste. So by having an optimum inventory, maintaining the balance, and you can transfer those amount in various different operations of the warehouse. Moving on, so in the recent trends, there has been in various tools um, use tools are used to find the best optimum level for the inventory management. In our case, we are going to discuss about three important tools, namely economic order quantity, ABC/Pareto classifications, and the third one is K-curve methodology. So economic order quantity. Economic order quantity can be defined as the ideal quantity of orders that a company must adhere for its inventory operations. It basically defines what it is. In order to a company, if a company needs to place an order, it has to place the economic order quantity to maintain efficiency. Next, Pareto classification. Pareto classification can be said in inventory planning cases. It will take a group of parts and divide it into three groups based on their annual usage value. The three groups will be class A, B, and C. Class A products are highly in demand comparatively to class B and class C. And class C are the least class B and class C are the least based on their annual usage value. K-curve methodology. K-curve methodology helps or uses the K-curve methodology. It helps to determine the optimum inventory level by bringing together the strength of both Pareto and economic order quantity. The above mentioned economic order quantity and Pareto classification has their weaknesses, which can be overcome by using K-curve methodology. Moving on, to generate K-curve, there are three important stages. The first stage being expressing EOQ, which is economic order quantity, as economic order period. And stage 2, building a bridge between EOP and Pareto's classification. And final stage is creating a K-curve. Let's discuss each step in detail. Stage 1, expressing EOQ as an economic order period. This is the formula as we are going to use to do that. Economic order quantity. And see that economic order quantity. This is the formula. D, C, P and I explanations are given above. D being the demand quantity, C cost of ordering, P unit cost and I inventory holding rate. So in order to express a EOQ as an economic order period, the first step is to substitute K in EOQ formula. K being the constant and common factor, K is nothing but 2 times C divided by I, where C is cost of ordering and I is inventory holding rate. So we are substituting in K value in economic order quantity. So the simplified formula will be square root of KD divided by P. It's nothing but square root of K common factor, D being the demand quantity divided by a unit cost. Now we can further simplify it to economic order quantity. That's a simplified formula. Now we need to express. Yes, remember that we are going to express EOQ, economic order quantity, as economic order period, meaning that order quantity should be transferred to a timely frame. So in order to do that we are dividing in EOQ divided by the demand and in the entire annual in 1 year. So here we found that EOQ divided by D for this value being 0.02 years. Now so this is now substituting in the common factor K. The formula is simplified to the square root of K divided by I demand quantity into P being the unit cost, which also results in the in 0.02 years. But we need to understand that while contacting a supplier and saying them give me a product, give me a quantity product of 0.02 years is going to be confusing. So in order to further simplify that we are substituting few other values. Here D and P is nothing but annual spend, so we are introducing A into the factor and removing DP, and since we are calculating it for number of days, we are introducing a new constant called W, which is nothing but working days. The working day is 250 in 250, meaning that excluding Saturdays and Sunday is meaning 2 holidays in a week. The remaining days are calculated and substituted as 250, which is a constant. So economic order period can be further simplified into working days in square root multiplied by square root of common value K, common factor K divided by a annual spend. Next we had to find average inventory. So this is the formula for finding average inventory. 0.5 multiplied by economic order period multiplied by a O divided by W. In economic order period, the value is far. It's calculated over here and multiplied by A, which is nothing but the annual spend for the product, right? And all divided by W, this number of working day, yes, which is 250 in this example, and which results to average inventory cost of 750 pounds for this product. Now we need to find out the number of delivery is we need in order to get this product. So which can be found out by working days divided by EOP. The number of working day is 250, which is a constant, and EOP is we found above, so is 5 days. On doing that we can find that is 50. If we have any doubts, we can double check it by or simple calculation. I will show it here. Here we are going to find out whether our calculation on the formula are correct. So the economic order is 20 and the number of orders is 50. So for 5 days it's 50. So for 250 working day is divided by 5, meaning 50, which gives the number of deliveries. For each delivery, we are placing 20 orders, which is the economic order quantity, multiplied by 20, which gives us 1000, which is nothing but the demand quantity we have found out, which is required. So the formula for finding EOP and number of delivery is correct. So now let's see an example. Calculating the EOQ and EOP. So these are the data. As we have a constant K and number of working days as 250, which is also a constant. Now to calculate EOQ and EOP, the formula which we found the simplified formula is square root of K into D divided by P. This formula is now substituted over here. Square root of K value is B1 and multiplied by C5, which is nothing but 180, and then all divided by the value 0.00001, which gives us economic order quantity being 23,000. So by finding that we do the same for every other product in our category, which is like 200 product. In order to do that in a simple way, we just click and then drag the function, and for the 200 products, now we need to find EOQ. The formula for EOQ in the spreadsheet, it is this. B2 being K multiplied by the square root of B1. So B2 being the working day is multiplied by the square root of B1, the constant K, all divided by E5, the annual spend, which gives us the EOP value. So here, so this is the EOP value we get. the EOP, we need to identify that EOP is in days. Next, we are going for the step 2, which is nothing but that finding a bridge, building a bridge between EOP and Pareto. Now, if we go back, that we found that Pareto is the classification process of classifying the number of classifying the parts in our inventory in 3 basic forms, like class A, class B, and class C. Class A being the most popular, and class B and C is not high value demanded. We're doing the same for in our case, and we need to find the value classes and cycle days. You can see that UP is like 5.8346.02, which is actually not practical in applications. So we need to find a midpoint, and what we do is we find a cycle day is for every class value. So for every class, for a class 1, the cycle day is 5, which means that in every 5 days is a new order is been scheduled for that part. So in order to find the boundary is from value cycle 1 to value class 2, 3, 4, 5 respectively, we need to find the class limit, and this is the formula to find class limit. So we found so these are the values which we are given, and the class limit is the formula was derived from here. So we found that B7, and it is nothing but B7 is 0. So using this formula we find our class limit, meaning that for a product whose annual spec and is over 37,500 pounds, it falls under class limit, and the cycle days is minimum. In our case, it is 5. So for any product which is below 37,500 to 900 for 9,375, it falls in class 2. So for cycle days as 10, and so on for class 3, 4, 5. So after finding out the class days and class limit, we need to find the value class as for our product. So the formula is given over here. So by using this formula, we have found the class under which class as a product falls under. And for every product we need to do the same, and just by clicking here and then dragging down, or we can do the same for every product. Now cycle days, this is the formula we use to find our cycle day is, and we need to do the same thing as before. So to find the cycle day is for every product, just click here and then drag it down on. Next, moving on to generating the curve. In order to find a curve, we need to know our average inventories and number of delivery is. So in order to find an average inventory, the formula 0.5 right, multiplied with E. E is nothing but at economic order period multiplied by A, which is the annual spend, divided by number of working days. For number of delivery is working days divided by EOP. So we can look at our example. So in our example, we have classified, right? We have found the number of orders for part 1 and using the formula here is nothing but B2 working days W is nothing but working day is nothing but working day is B2 divided by the value of cycle days on I8, which gives us the value 1.56, meaning that we can round it up to 2, meaning that for every order we need to place 1 pound. So number of orders should be placed in the 2 times is 23,000, and over here the number of orders we placed is 50. Likewise we found in the same for every other product category we have. Next, average inventory cost. What is the average inventory cost for each product? In order to find that we use the formula 0.5 into E multiplied by A the whole divided by W. Now example we do the same in 0.5 I multiplied by A multiplied to E number of what is multiplied with cycle day, yes, and annual spend, and will divided by number of working days, which gives us the average inventory cost for the product being 33.72 each. We do the same for the rest of the 200 products here. Now finally, you need to create a K curve. In order to create a K curve, we know that K is being the constant over here. Its value can be changed from 1 to 100. So for changing this value from 1 to 100, then we find different value classes, values, and so on. So for K being 1 and for K being 1 and the total number of orders is 7,239 and the inventory cost is 33,650 pounds. And for the last being K being the 100, let me find in that the number of orders being 1,837 and then average inventory cost being 87,956. So here we can conclude that for increase in K value, number of orders decreases, but average inventory cost will increase. Let's see that for K10 it is 4,592, but the average inventory is 38,533. Likewise for K being 20, constant being 20, it is 37, which is all tabulated over in this curve. So for k value being 1 to 100, these are the number of orders and this is the average inventory cost. So for k being 1 is the maximum number of orders but very less average inventory cost. When you increase the k value, so you can see that the number of orders keeps on decreasing, but the average cost keeps on increasing. So if you are a business, you need to find out your ideal k value to match your supply and demand, and the k curve is now calculated. And over here, in order to get this k curve value, we have to select this bow, select this style, and then just insert chart. Insert a chart. We can see, we can generate a curve chart. So since we have found this, we go back to our presentation. So why K curve is useful? K curve, using K curve, one can find the optimum inventory level by bringing only the strengths of both Pareto's and EOQ, economic order quantity. So while comparing to Pareto's and K curve, Pareto curve and K curve, lower level of inventory can be achieved for the same number of orders by using KQ. While using Pareto, the level of inventory, meaning that the number of products stored and the cost of it is much higher than the K curve. One more reason for using K curve is the value of K can be varied depending upon the companies and the situations. K curve method also changes one important question from cost to delivery. Like, what is the cost? What is a company's cost to place an order? That is a complex question to give an answer. But using K curve, we can change that question from cost to deliveries, meaning number of deliveries a company can handle in a week, in a month, in 1 year. So this is the benefit of using a K curve over Pareto or economic Pareto's or EOQ. Thank you.